Welcome back everybody to PSGL. We are back for the Italian Grand Prix. This is round 6 of the F5 Season 31 Championship, and it's good to be back commentating here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza circuit, aka the Temple of Speed. So this track has got 11 turns to make up a circuit length of around 5.7 kilometers. There's also 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking, and as I briefly mentioned, it is called the Temple of Speed, so see a lot of speeds for around here, especially down to turn 1, where we could see speeds up to around 215 miles per hour. Let's see how this all works out, though, as the rain has hit as well, so the downforce levels are going to be very different, so we might not see those fast cars go out on track just quite yet, because the rain is going to affect the downforce levels and affect speed, and also there's not going to be any DRS. So with the track details aside, let's get into the racing here today in PSGL. I'm Formula Jonah, your commentator for the F5 division, and you join us in the qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix. This is round 6 of the championship. It's going to be an amazing rest of the season as well. It's just there's a few more races to go, and we're at the halfway mark of the season as well. But if you're just joining us, please make sure to like the stream if you're enjoying the commentary and the racing so far, and subscribe to PSGL to see more racing content on the league. So we have a few cars going out on track. We're riding on board with Victor in the Aston Martin as he comes down to Ascari chicane, and we'll see what type of lap he's going to produce. He's currently on an out lap, that's why he's invalidated. He's trying to warm up those tires and get ready for his official flying lap. So we'll see what he can do, as he's one of the first drivers out on track. So we're going to keep the screens on the Aston Martin driver, who's already won 2 races this season. So it's been a very good start for Victor in the Aston Martin. But I do want to mention as well that our sponsors for PSGL this season are Grid Rival and GT Omega, GT Omega being the title sponsor, and you can use the code PSGL at checkout on the GT Omega website for 5% off GT Omega products. So definitely go check this all out. This is down in the description down below, so much appreciated. As, ooh, Victor gets a little bit too much on the power off of turn 2. You can see him struggling to really get a good lap in at the first corner. But let's see if the second chicane goes better for the Aston Martin drivers. Ooh, locking up, having a little bit of aquaplaning there as he comes out of turn 4. Very nice line, actually, out of the exit into the Lesbos. Now turn 5 and turn 6, I do believe. Oh, Victor goes off track, and he actually spinning the car, trying to get that car under control so he can keep it out on track. He's actually backed off of that lap, though, because he has slightly spun the car, and he should let the Alpine pass that's coming right behind him. I do believe that is Bas Bremer. However, Bas Bremer is on an out lap, so there's no need for the Alpine to go ahead of the Aston Martin just yet. Oh, and Bas Bremer goes off the track as well, showing that these conditions are very difficult for around here. Now, I do want to mention, I mentioned this a little bit during the intro, that downforce levels are going to be very crucial for around here. Since this track is very fast in terms of the speed, drivers usually run a lower downforce setup. However, due to the rain out on track, this is going to affect drivers' downforce setup, so they may have changed a few things at the start of this qualifying session to give them a little bit more downforce. However, some drivers may have just stuck for the lower downforce setup because maybe the dry race is coming. Maybe there's a dry race incoming, but we'll see how that all works out. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is why a few drivers are struggling out there, because the rain has hit, but they might be running lower downforce setups, which means they're going to have a lot more understeer, especially in these conditions. So just wanted to get that out there just to make that clear. So we have a few drivers setting some lap times. Kyle is the first, or the fastest lap sitter at the moment, as Kev actually goes even faster. So the Alfa Romeo team goes into now second, because Marquico, who has now been confirmed as the Red Bull driver full-time, goes now second, as Rudy beats that lap time. So a lot of fast laps coming in here. Rudy, by 0.3 of a second, beats Marquico's lap time. So a very good lap from the Alpine driver. Luca must have made a little mistake, because he's down in P7. Usually Luca is higher up on the grid, so maybe he made a little mistake there, as Smalley now goes third in the Alfa Romeo. So Alfa looking pretty strong already, as both drivers seem to be on similar pace this season. Smalley and Kev third and fourth, and currently on the second row of the grid. So pretty much half of the grid has come out on track and set a lap time. The only driver that is in the pit lane and yet to really set a tire compound to go out on track would be Ryan in the Haas, who's currently down in P13, yet to set a lap time. As Rudy's teammate Bas Bremer went third, as actually he's now gone down to fourth because Vandenberg is now into second position for AlphaTauri. And I do want to mention that Vandenberg is in that hunt for the championship. Same with Smalley. And as we approach the second half of the season, it's going to come down to the wire in terms of this championship fight. And I'll go over the championship standings in a moment, but I quickly want to talk about the previous race in Japan, because Vandenberg scored more points than Smalley, and that's going to raise him up into the lead of the championship, I do believe. I'll have to check that for certain in a moment. However, I do want to mention that if you did not check out the Japanese Grand Prix, definitely go check that out. It's going to be an amazing, or it was an amazing race. Truly incredible. And it was awesome to commentate on the action around Suzuka. So definitely go check out the race. That was round 5. So Rudy's lap time still is the fastest lap time so far, with a 125.6. However, Katterson has just gone on into second position there, a 125.6 also. However, the details between first and second are separated by around, 1/100th of a second. That's how close it is. Rudy is actually going faster in the first sector, purple. Let's see what the Alpine driver can do. Currently on provisional pole position with 10 minutes to go. And we'll see if he's able to improve on his time here. Maybe go even faster with the rain seemingly slowing down. It seems that these drivers will have a little bit more of an opportunity to set a quicker lap time. So he's coming through a Ascari section, looking pretty strong for the Alpine driver. As he's on to the back straight now, he's got one corner to go. That's Parabolica. And he will have a very good exit out of Parabolica, I'm assuming. Oh, actually, no, it's not. He goes a little bit too wide. Is that just down to the rain being a little bit too much at that particular section? Actually, he's coming into the pit lane, so he believes that lap was not good enough for an improvement. So that's going to see him down into... It's going to see him still in P1, actually, but not improving on that particular time. I actually do want to talk about the driver standings here, because I have to admit I was wrong. Vandenberg is not leading the championship. I thought he was, but he's actually in third. Victor is currently leading the championship. Katterson is in second after his great race in Japan. I do believe he got his first podium of the season. Vandenberg sitting third with Smalley in fourth. So that's kind of how that's looking as we head into Italy. Victor leading the championship, and with those 2 wins, I think the first one was in the first race of the season at Austria, and then the second one, of course, was last time out in Japan. So Victor has now gone into the lead of the championship by 4 points, I do believe, to the Williams driver of Katterson. So Victor's showing that he's got the pace to possibly win this championship, and I'm looking at possibly a 4 to 5 way championship fight at the end of the season when we come to Britain. So that's going to be very interesting. I cannot wait to see how that comes out, and we cannot wait to see who will be in the lead of this championship come the British Grand Prix. So we have around 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go of this F5 Italian Grand Prix here in Season 31. Surprisingly, Rudy's lap is still the fastest lap time out on track. Katterson, P2. He's still in the pit lane, while his rival, Rudy, has just gone out on track for another lap in the Alpine car. Now, is anyone else improving? Rick is improving, actually. He's improved by around 8/100ths of a second. So not a huge improvement by the McLaren driver, but he might be able to get up into P2, maybe P3, actually, as Kyle now goes fastest overall with a 125.4. So McLaren putting in some very strong lap times here, as both their drivers are in the top 5, but it is Kyle that leads away Rick, and Kyle is has gone on to provisional pole position with a 125.4, so 2/10 faster than Rudy's lap time. So very impressive lap time from Kyle there. However, can Rudy improve on his time and go faster, as Rick now goes faster. McLaren 1-2 here in Monza, as he goes into the 125.2s, 0.2 faster than Kyle's lap time. McLaren showing that they have the pace today. Meanwhile, Marquico has just gone into P3 with a 125.5, so very quick lap time from Marquico as well. But wow, great lap times from the McLaren pair, as both of them are 1-2 in the session with around 7 minutes to go. Rudy on a lap. Let's take it on board with the Alpine driver as he comes down to turn 1. Lock up a little bit on those intermediate compound tires. Traction zone right here off of turn 2. He's going to rotate that steering wheel very nicely off the exit into Curve Grande now. Turn 3 this is. Flat out through here, we're going to see speeds around 200 miles per hour on these sort of conditions. Down to the second chicane of the track. They're going to have a lot of lockups at those 2 chicanes, as Rudy demonstrated. Into the 2 right-handers. Turn 5 this is. Drivers do not want to get on the inside curve. They can spin the car very easily into turn 6, just slightly coming off the power there. Don't go too wide. You can get into validation pretty easily onto the DRS stretch. The second one, of course, there's no DRS in these sort of conditions. And this is going to be the biggest point for drivers to mess up. Hopefully this all goes well for Rudy. He cuts the corner a little bit too much and gets an invalid lap. So Rudy, unfortunately, will stay in P5 for now. The turn 8 Ascari chicane is one of the most difficult chicanes on this track. It really is. And it is very difficult to get completely right. And drivers can struggle if they're running a lower downforce setup, as they can have a lot of understeer, and that could affect their entire lap. So Rudy should go out again. He's actually coming to the line now, so he's going to set another lap time. Hopefully he's cooled down those tires and he's ready to go. He's actually got a Red Bull right behind him as well. I do believe that is Luca, but it could be wrong. That could be also Marquico. No, it is Luca. He's actually improved by 0.3 of a second, but Sector 1 hasn't come quite yet, so I'm not sure how he's improved at that particular section. I'm not sure why it's shown that here. As Bas Bremer now goes fastest overall. The Alpine going into P1 for the moment, a 125.1. We're edging in to the 124 zones. We could get into that point in this qualifying session, as we could see a change in the leaders as well. But Bas Bremer's lap is currently the fastest lap so far in this session. Can anyone else improve? Luca hasn't validated, so he is not improving. Vandenberg improves by 0.2 of a second. This could put him around P4, P5, somewhere around there. Let's just see what Vandenberg can do in the Italian AlphaTauri team. As he comes round Parabolica to the line now. What is his lap going to be? It is a 125.4 and actually goes into P3 onto the second row of the grid as Marquico improves on his time and now goes fastest overall. And that is a 125.0, a very impressive lap from Marquico there. Is that the pole position lap that everybody will be chasing? Is that the lap? That is the benchmark for today's session. Let's see how this works out, as we still have 4 minutes to go and anything can happen, especially here in the F5 division of PSGL. So will Marquico come into the pit lane? Will he have enough time to come into the pit lane and set a new, fresh set of intermediate compound tires? Well, we're about to find out. Bas Bremer is in the pit lane now. Let's see what he can do in the Alpine. Is he's going to come in, fit a new set of intermediate compound tires, review the data very quickly because he doesn't have a lot of time, and then he's going to go out on track and try and challenge for pole position today. So these drivers are going to have to focus. If they're going to be going for pole position, they're going to have to aim for the 124s, which is a very difficult thing to do for around here at Italy, especially in these tricky conditions. Rick on a lap now. The McLaren driver has been very impressive as Vandenberg goes fastest overall. A 124.9 dips into the 124s, and that is the benchmark lap time for sure, as the AlphaTauri driver really just showed that he's got the pace, possibly even for the championship as well. But Rick on a lap. Let's see what the McLaren driver can do. He's coming around Curve Grande to the Sector 1 line. Let's see if can he improve. He is down by around 1/100th of a second there, and he makes a little bit of a mistake as well. Smalley improves on his time as well and goes into P5, so Alfa Romeo putting it into the top 5 in today's session. Meanwhile, I do want to mention Ferrari, as it has not been a very good day for them at their home Grand Prix, as their sole remaining car in the race, I do believe the other one is unfortunately not here, is out and will start P18, so difficult qualifying session for the home heroes. And Victor's still in the pit lane. The championship leader is coming into the pits. Will he have enough time? I don't think so. And with that, I think that might be the end of Victor's lap. You can see he's got no front wing either. So Victor, the championship leader, starting P12 most likely. And that is not a good sign for the Aston Martin driver who's battling for this championship in season 31. And Rick has also backed off of his lap time. He has, unfortunately, made a little mistake, I do believe. Maybe in a Ascari chicane, but I do believe that is the end of that particular lap. But he will have enough time to go out again and set another lap time. We'll see if he's going to be able to set a good lap. Bas Bremer and Marquico are out on track as well. Will Vandenberg... actually, Vandenberg has come into the pit lane, so that is it for Vandenberg. A 124.9 is his best lap time. I'm curious to know if that is going to be the pole position lap time for today. We will find out as the reserve Haas driver goes into P5. Vince, very good lap time. And that is a top 5 position so far for Vince. We'll see if anyone else will be able to improve and go faster than that 125.2. And we're just waiting for a few drivers to come across the laps. Kyle is not improving on his time. I don't believe Kyle will be able to rise up with an even faster lap time. Rudy is up by around 0.3 of a second. Rudy could be going fastest overall. Currently, this would put him around P4, but if he's able, and now he's 0.6 up. He is 0.6 up on his lap time. This is a huge improvement for Rudy. Exiting turn 10 now. 1 corner to go. Is this pole position for Alpine here in Italy? Is this pole position for Rudy as Bas Bremer, the second Alpine, has retired? That is it for Bas Bremer in the session. But Rudy, around the final couple of corners he comes. He was 0.6 up in Sector 2. Currently P9 on the grid. He comes to the line now. Is it pole position? Yes, it is. It is pole position for Rudy in the Alpine. A 124.7. Unless anyone else can improve on their times. That is an absolutely amazing lap times. Smalley does improve and goes faster. He goes faster than Rudy, and that is now the provisional pole position unless anyone else can improve. Vince goes even faster, goes into P4 for the Haas team, but what a lap from Smalley as well. A 124.6 beats Rudy's lap time by around 1/10 of a second. What a lap from the Alfa Romeo driver, and it is Alfa Romeo's home Grand Prix. Of course, it is Sauber, so it is a Swiss team, but the Alfa Romeo name is Italian, and they possibly are going to be on pole here in Italy. I don't see anyone else improving on their times. Let's take a look at Catterson, though. He's coming to the Sector 2 line now. He is down by around 2.5 seconds, so that is it for Catterson. He's actually on the soft compound tires as well. What about Marquico, though? Marquico is down by around a 10, so I don't think he's improving. He goes very wide as well. That is it for Marquico. He will start P5 at best. What about Kyle, though? Kyle is up by around a 10th. Can he improve? Maybe go into P7? He goes P8. And that is a 4th row of the grid for the McLaren team. So good starting position for both of them. But it is going to be Smalley out of nowhere, putting it on pole position for the Alfa Romeo team with a 124.679. That is the lap that got Smalley pole position here today, and that is perfect for his championship contention as well. And this will see him front the grid here for the Italian Grand Prix. So Smalley on pole position for Alfa Romeo, followed by Rudy in the Alpine. A 124.7 was his best lap. Unfortunately, it was not pole for the Alpine. Vandenberg, another championship contender, is starting P3 for the AlphaTauri team. He's also P3 currently in the championship. Vince is P4, followed by Marquico in the Red Bull, is starting P5. Bassbremer, Rick, Kyle, Slash, and Catterson, who got a podium last time out in Japan, starts P10, and that completes the top 10 for today's race. Meanwhile, our championship leader, Victor, LFR Victor, starts P12 on the grid. Not a good qualifying session for him. He will have to make a great recovery in the upcoming race. But wow, what a qualifying session that was. That was really epic, especially in those conditions as well. That changed the game, really, it did. And that really showed that this pace, this grid is really competitive. And we can see no rain on our race. Perfect for Italy, of course. It's a sunny day here in Monza, as we get ready for the Italian Grand Prix here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza circuit. And we will see how this goes at the Temple of Speed for all our drivers here in F5. But anyway, let's get into the race. Oh, Rick has left the session. That's not good for the McLaren driver. Possibly a internet or lag issue or something like that. Hopefully he can rejoin as soon as possible so he doesn't lose too many positions at the start. But if you're just joining us, thank you so much. And if you are, if you have been racing or if you have been viewing the stream for the entire time, thank you very much as well. Comment down below your thoughts on the upcoming race predictions, questions, anything. Let us know down in the comments below. We will try and respond as soon as possible. Rick, meanwhile, has rejoined the session. Very good news for the McLaren driver. Hopefully he will get into his car before the race starts. So we're getting ready to go for the race. I'm Formula Jonah, your F5 commentator for this season, in season 31 of PSGL. We are ready to go. Who will lead down to turn 1? That is the question. It is a very difficult first turn, but here we go. Fiber lights are out for the race here in Monza. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a pretty good start for the front runners. Smalley does lead us away, though. He covers off the Alpine to try and keep that position. Vandenberg had a very good start as well. Moves into P2 of the Grand Prix so far. Vince is also trying to challenge Rudy down to turn 1 as they are side by side. Smalley leads from Vandenberg, from Rudy, Vince, Slash. Marquico is in P6. He's dropped a position to Slash, who now moves into P5, but he's actually trying to challenge the AlphaTauri. Honda v Honda power here as Slash and Marquico are side by side coming into Curve Grande, and it is Slash that keeps ahead of Marquico. Moving down further down the grid, we have an Aston Martin of Victor, the championship leader, trying to go side by side with Kyle, who gives the position up. Victor is into P11 now. Kev also trying to make some moves, as well as he's currently P13. Ian and Ryan side by side as we come into turn 5 at the first Lesmo. Into turn 6 we come. Who's gonna get ahead? It is Ian that gets ahead of Ryan. So up at the front of the field, Smalley leads us away by around 0.4 of a second from Vandenberg. Then comes Rudy. That is the top 3 so far in this race. Exiting turn 8. Well, it was a very epic start to this race. And let me quickly grab the tire graph as well. Everybody is on hards besides Rick, Julio, and I do believe the 2 at the back as well. So that's quite interesting. But Smalley leads us away. Coming into lap 2 of the Monza race, and he actually sets the fastest lap as well. So here at Italy, we come down to turn 1. Vandenberg really close behind that Alfa Romeo. And we'll see a move going on between McLaren and Red Bull. Marquico trying to defend the position off of Rick, who's trying to go around the outside of the Red Bull car. Into turn 2 we come. It is Rick that gets ahead of Marquico. Luca in the second Red Bull is now trying to get past his teammate as well. Will there be team orders between the 2 Red Bull cars? I don't believe so, as they seem to have similar pace right now. And Marquico's already challenging Rick in that McLaren just ahead. So any more overtakes happening? It doesn't look like it. I think our closest overtake might be Ian and Julio, as Ian making his way through the field on the hard compound tires. Julio on the mediums. So the Aston should be faster, but look at the exit Ian got. He's looking to make that move on the Aston Martin car. Meanwhile, we got to take a look at the front, as Rick is already making a move on Slash. So Rick moves out into P5 of this race. There was also another overtake happening. I do believe it was between Catterson and Bass Bremer, as they seem to have swapped positions there. I think Bass is looking to make that overtake as well on Catterson once again. Victor in the Aston Martin is also on the charge to try and overtake these guys and get up into the top 10 of this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, up at the front, we have Rick making another overtake. He's made 3 overtakes in this lap, and now approaches lap 3 and is making an overtake for 4th position. Down the inside goes the McLaren, and Rick makes the overtake here at Monza and gets ahead on those medium compound tires. Makes sense why he's faster, because he is on those fresher set of medium compound tires, which are a faster tire than the hards. Meanwhile, Vandenberg looking for the overtake on Smalley. A race lead battle is forming right here. And remember, viewers, this is a battle for the championship as well, as both these drivers are very close in terms of points for this this championship race here in F5. Will Vandenberg make the move into turn 8 at Ascari chicane? He's not really got the best of exits, but he has the DRS. He's going to use this, I do believe, as a closing zone to get right onto the back of the Alfa Romeo and make that move into turn 1. That's going to be his plan, I think, and he's successfully done that using the slipstream to try and make that move on the Alfa Romeo. Will he use a little bit of ERS? Let's take a look at that. Get telemetry up on our screen here as Vandenberg not using any ERS, but he's already closing on the Alfa Romeo. Slipstream is very powerful for around here, and Vandenberg is taking advantage of that slipstream, and now has that opportunity. Will he use a little bit of ERS? Yes, he is. He's using ERS. He's got the DRS. Smalley trying to defend, but is there anything he can do off of the power of the AlphaTauri with that Red Bull power unit? Coming down to turn 1. He's looking to send it. Is he going to? No, he's not. Meanwhile, we have an overtake going on for P2, actually, as Rick is making an overtake. Where did he come from? He's already made the move on Rudy and is now challenging for 2nd place in this race. He is on a charge to go for the race lead of this Italian Grand Prix. Will Rick make that overtake on Vandenberg? That is the question. He is on those mediums as well, so if he degrades those tires too much, he'll have to pit a little bit early, but so far it's going pretty well for the McLaren driver. Oh, and that is a crash. That is, I do believe, a Mercedes, and that is a safety car that has been called out on track on lap 4. And that is a bit of a shock as we see the first safety car of the day called out at the first portion of this race. So the question will be, will anyone choose to pit? I don't believe so, because the hards will definitely go for a lot longer. Same with the mediums. If I was on the softs and those tires were already starting to degrade, I would pit. Thankfully, these drivers are not on the softs, so they don't have to worry about that. So they're all good there, as Smalley is going to catch up to the safety car, and he will lead us away. But I gotta comment on Rick there. Rick has made an absolutely amazing start. Oh, he's actually pit. That is surprising, actually. So Rick has chosen to pit from what was P3, I do believe, and Bass Bremer has gotten a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Rick into the pits for the hard tires, showing that the hards might be the better race tire than the mediums, which is quite surprising. Bass Bremer onto the softs. Now that is an interesting strategy right there. Ryan onto the softs as well. Same with Kev. A lot of drivers onto the soft tires. Rick and Julio are on the hards. No one pitting for the mediums. Mosey is the only driver on the medium compound tires. But I was very surprised to see that Rick pit. It was going really well for him. It seemed that those mediums were really quick, but maybe the mediums aren't really the best tire. It seems that a lot of drivers aren't choosing the medium tire. So I wonder if Rick saw the future and was kind of going like, okay, I gotta plan out this strategy. This safety car comes at a pretty good time, so might as well pit, get rid of these mediums that may be degrading a little bit too much. And then pit onto a hard compound tire, which seems to be a pretty good tire for around here in Italy. So safety car should be coming in on the next lap, as the rest of the field has not catched up quite yet. But the safety car was caused by Lakitu in the Mercedes, who unfortunately does retire from the race. I do believe the crash was at turn 3 or exit of turn 2. It's in between there, which is unfortunate, of course, to see any retirement from a race. But That's how it goes in racing sometimes. Ryan and Bass Bremer are coming into the pit lane. And what is this this change? It is a hard tire going on to the Alpine. What about Ryan? It is also a hard tire. Very interesting strategy here. So I wonder, oh, and they've actually gone back onto the original hard compound tires. So that is a very surprising strategy from the pair of them. I wonder if they feel that the softs were not the right option. I've also seen where the game glitches the soft comp or glitches the tire strategy, and you like input the mediums or the hards, and then it puts you on the softs randomly, which is really odd. But it's possible that that was something as well. It's also possible that Ryan and Bass Bremer unfortunately made a little mistake in terms of putting that tire on the softs. Maybe they forgot to change it over to the hards. But yeah, that does put them down into 17th and 18th. They haven't lost too much time, and thankfully they should catch up to the rest of the pack. My question is, though, will this affect the safety car? Because the safety car should have come into the pit lane this lap, but since those two cars have not catched up, I wonder if the safety car will go out for another lap, which would be quite surprising. If so, no call quite yet if the safety car is coming in. And we'll wait and see once Bass Bremer comes to the Sector 3 line. And no safety car. No safety car in this lap quite yet. We still have a corner to go, so things could change. I've seen it before in racing. I've seen it before that a safety car makes a late decision to come into the pit lane. But it is staying out. It is staying out for another lap, and I wonder if that was due to Bass Bremer and Ryan pitting and not catching up in time. It seems like that was the case, but I don't know. We'll see. So Smalley will lead for another lap as we approach lap 7 out of 27. 20 laps to go in this Italian Grand Prix for round 6 of the F5 Championship. I do want to mention thank you to everybody that has joined the stream so far. Really appreciate you all coming in. Definitely subscribe to PSGL if you have not already. If you want to join the league as well, definitely go to their website and sign up and join the Discord server. That would be, of course, much appreciated. And yeah. Let's see how this goes, though, because we still have a long way to go in this race. Still got 20 laps, and we still have a second half of the season as well. There's still many more races to come. And what's great about this Italian Grand Prix is that this is not the last time we'll be coming to Italy for action in PSGL, as next race will be the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, which will be the race at Imola. So 2 back-to-back races in Italy, which will be great to witness. So a race here in Monza. Nearby is Milano, of course. And then we'll be heading over to the Emilia-Romagna region. And nearby is the city of Bologna as well. A safety car is in this lap. So we will be getting the safety car in. And we'll be getting the racing underway once again here in F5. The question now is, when will Smalley put that foot to the throttle and full on send it and just go for it, really? That's the question. He's backing up the field quite a bit here. Trying to get those tires heat up, of course, because those hards are very cold, especially on safety car restarts. Ian has just been given a 5-second time penalty for collision with Trappy Formula. I'm not sure what happened there. Smalley should go on the exit of Parabolica, but I've also seen drivers go at the entrance of Parabolica as well. So let's see for Smalley. As he goes now, he goes on the entrance. And a pretty good restart for the Alfa Romeo car. 7/10 to the AlphaTauri Vandenberg, who's now in P2. Rudy in the Alpine a little bit further behind. He's lost a little bit of time to Vandenberg. And Vince is now looking for that overtake on Rudy as well. They're trying to warm up those tires. Make sure that those tires are good to go. So we already see an overtake happening. Marquico sending it down the inside on Slash as we see the Red Bull, the AlphaTauri go at it once again. And the two Red Bull teams are side by side. It is Marquico that gets ahead. Luca also trying to get involved in this battle as well. Let's see if the Luca will be able to get up into P6 in this race, possibly joining his teammate as well. Yellow flag in the back. I do believe that is Bass Bremer off the track there, but I'm not completely certain on that. Meanwhile, Catterson and Victor have also joined the fight as well. These are the top 2 drivers in the championship. Catterson in P2, Victor in P1. And Vandenberg and Smalley also in that championship fight as well. It's a 4-way fight, really, for this championship. And it could very well be a 5 to possibly 6-way fight as well, with many more points to be able to be scored. So will the championship leader make a move on his championship contender? Catterson right ahead. Victor's got the ERS. He's got the pace in that Aston Martin. And we'll see if he makes his overtake on the Williams right ahead. So I think that's pretty much our closest battle right now. I don't see too much action besides this, as we see Victor right behind Catterson. He's looking for that overtake. He's going to send it down the inside. Catterson tries to defend the inside line. Victor's now going for it, though. He fakes it to the inside, but then pulls to the outside and keeps P9 for the moment. Oh, Ryan is out of the race. And he's actually retired in the pit lane. Meanwhile, we got Marquico and Slash continuing their battle. They've had almost a race lead battle, really, as Marquico looking for that overtake on the AlphaTauri. Luca is also in that fight. Same with Catterson and Victor. It's a 5-way fight for P5 in this race. This is really awesome to see. Meanwhile, we got Trappy Formula trying to make that move on Kev in the Alfa Romeo, who's on the soft compound tires and should be faster than pretty much everybody else in this stage of the race. So I think our closest battle really is between the 2 Red Bulls, actually. Is Luca. I think he wants that position. I think he wants to get ahead of his new teammate Marquico. And we'll see if he's going to make that move, if Red Bull will make that strategy call to swap the 2 drivers. Currently, Marquico is in P6, though, and still hunting down Slash, so this battle will still continue on. DRS is now enabled, and this should help Marquico to try and make that overtake on Slash. However, Luca is right behind, 1/10 separating the Red Bull. Golden #1 rule, do not hit your teammates. Going good so far, so hopefully that doesn't happen, as Luca looking for the move on his teammate, but does not make it so far, so he'll have to wait a little bit longer to make that overtake. So coming down into turn 5, Smalley leads by around 5 to 4/10 of a second. Vandenberg right behind, though. He is still in that DRS range. Same with Rudy. And pretty much this is a DRS train down to around P13. So that's how close it really is between everybody today. As Bas Bremer gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He has actually retired as well. It has not been his day. As Kev spins. Oh, dear. That is the Alfa Romeo off the track at the exit of turn 6. If you go too wide, you could spin the car very easily. If you have a lower downforce setup as well, you can get understeer and ultimately spin the car into that wall. So up at the front, Vandenberg has closed the gap down to around 2/10 of a second. This is going really well for Vandenberg right now. Is he going to use the DRS? Is this a move for the race lead? Smalley trying to defend. Can he do anything, though? Is Vandenberg going to go for it? He's looking for it. He's going for it. Down the inside goes Vandenberg into turn 1 on lap 11. Vandenberg will get ahead of the Alfa Romeo for now, and he leads here in Italy. It is AlphaTauri leading their home race. Vandenberg leads the Italian Grand Prix, followed by Smalley, who is now dropped to around 5/10 of a second to Vandenberg in P1. So it's not been a very good lap for Smalley so far, but can he recover it? Can he make that overtake on lap 12? Maybe a similar overtake to Vandenberg. And Vince also looking for that overtake on Rudy as well. Haas on Alpine. And we'll see if he'll be able to make that overtake. DRS enabled. He doesn't have a lot of ERS though, so that's going to affect his result as well. And his pace on overtaking the car ahead. Marquico is also 2/10 behind Slash, so that battle will continue on for many more laps, I'm assuming. He's using a little bit of ERS. Who has the best ERS right now? I think it might be Vandenberg. 50% ERS for the AlphaTauri driver. Actually, Luca has the best ERS. 65% for the Red Bull driver. However, he's losing a little bit of time to his teammates, so he might have to use more of that ERS. Rudy's got 7%, so he's going to be losing a lot of time. Meanwhile, we have Julio off the track and the Aston Martin. Oh, dear. And that is Julio, unfortunately, really far down the order now. 8 seconds to the nearest car, which is unfortunate, of course. Hopefully a safety car, or he's able to close that gap up. We'll see. Kev is also off the track. It's not been his day today, but it is okay sometimes. That's how it goes in racing. Sometimes you have great days, sometimes you have bad days. That's just how it goes. So the battle for P5 intensifies, and also the battle for P7 also intensifies. Catterson looking for that overtake on Luca and trying to get some more points in this race, as the Williams driver currently in P8, and I'm sure he would love to keep going and possibly even take the lead of the championship here today. However, he's got his championship contender Victor right behind that Williams, and Victor looking for that overtake as well and trying to extend his championship lead off of Catterson. So Rick has just set the fastest lap of the race. He is on 8-lap-old hard, so it makes sense why. Meanwhile, Kyle and Mosey are into the pit lane. Mosey's actually ghosted, so I don't believe he's actually in the session. Kyle is pit for the mediums, so definitely a hard medium strategy going on here for the McLaren driver, and he should go to the end of the race. Kev into the pits for, I think, another set of softs. And Mosey, of course, ghosted right now. I do not know if he's in the session or not. I don't believe he is, but he's onto the hard tires. So the grid is kind of spread out here. Not a lot of overtakes going on. Actually, besides this battle for P7, Victor, Catterson, and Rick and Ian as well. 4-way fight for what is P8 at the moment. Victor gets ahead. Catterson down to P10. Rick up to P9, and Ian will stay in P11 for the moment. Also, Trappy Formula is in that fight as well and trying to move up the position and get into the top 10. Will Ian make that overtake on Catterson, who's currently P2 in the championship? We will see as Rudy is into the pit lane. Same with the Red Bull of Luca. And Rick is trying to make that overtake on the championship leader, Victor, who's currently in P6. He won the last race in Japan, but he's going to move down to 7th because Rick is making his way through the field. And he has been on an overtaking charge all race. He really has, and has now moved up into 6th position once again in the Italian Grand Prix. So Rudy and Luca have pit for the mediums. Definitely a hard medium strategy going on for these drivers here today. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if someone kept it going from the hards to the softs. That is an option as well. However, drivers would need to pit around lap 18 or lap 19 to pit onto the soft comp on tires. Softs usually last around 9 to 10 laps for around here. So we'll see. We'll see what these drivers decide. So up at the front, Smalley has closed the gap a little bit on Vandenberg. He's lost a little bit of time through Ascari, but just before that, he was around 0.3 of a second to Vandenberg. So Smalley may be starting to close up that gap and trying to get into the range of overtaking. Vandenberg, I thought he was going a little bit wide there, but I think that's just the normal racing line. Marquico is making that move on Slash, who actually comes into the pit lane. That is the reason why Marquico has made that overtake. Victor and Catterson also into the pits. Let's see what strategy these drivers are doing. Slash into the pits for the mediums. Actually, they're all into the pits for the mediums. It would be too early for the softs anyway, as Vince and Marquico swap positions. So that is Marquico up into 3rd now in this race, as Julio gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Here comes Rick on Vince, the McLaren, looking for the overtake on the Haas. Vince has got DRS off of the car ahead, but Rick may be getting the better line. He's on fresher tires, remember, so he should have the better pace compared to the Haas. But he's losing a lot of time on the straights, it seems. I wonder if Rick is running a higher downforce setup. Look how close he is. He is gaining on Vince. Vince comes into the pits. Rick using that DRS as well, as actually a lot of drivers are into the pit lane. The two race leaders into the pits. Vandenberg pits for the mediums. Smalley also into the pits for the mediums as well. And it seems Vince and Trappy Formula are also into the pits for what should be the mediums as well. So what has happened now is that the top three have stayed out. Marquico, Rick, and Ian. I wonder if one of these drivers is trying to go for the softs. That could be an option as well. Or they may just try for the mediums, because if they stay out for a little bit longer, they could degrade those tires to the point where they're starting to lose massive amounts of time to the cars behind, and then effectively lose that race as well. So I think if I were these drivers, I'd pit for the mediums. However, Rick is not included in that statement because Rick is on 11 lap old hards and should theoretically be able to continue and lead this race. If he doesn't push too hard, he shouldn't. And hards can go for around, I don't know, around 19 laps for around here. I think they could go for around that. So Rick in a really good position to possibly even win this Grand Prix. So round parabolic we come for the top three. I want to ride on board with these guys and see if they will. Oh, Marquico giving the position back. What's going on here? Oh, was that DRS? Was that? Hold on a second. I wonder if Marquico let Rick by to get the DRS. Either way, it didn't work out because Rick got the DRS anyway. I wonder if Marquico may have just made a little mistake on the exit of Parabolica as well, as that's understandable. As we see a spinning car, is that Victor? That is Victor. The championship leader has spun it. And that is very big for his championship contention. That might have just helped Catterson to possibly take the lead of the championship. Victor still in P12 though, still has a chance of getting in to the top 8 in today's race, as he is using the pace, the slipstream from the McLaren right ahead to possibly gain and overtake that McLaren to get up into P11. We will find out how that works out. Catterson in P9. Will Catterson be able to score some decent amount of points to take the lead of the championship as we come into Imola next time out for round 7? Meanwhile, the battle for third intensifies. This is technically the battle for first once the top two come in. I wonder if Rick is staying out, though. I wonder if that's the case. We will find out. Vandenberg and Smalley are separated by around 0.4 of a second, similar to how it was at the previous laps of the race. And Marquico has stayed out for another lap. I've got the feeling that he's pitting for the softs. It seems the most logical course of action for the Red Bull driver at this stage. Let's see what penalty he has, too. I think he has a 3-second. Yes, he does. Luke has also got a 3-second. Same with Kev and actually Julio and Vince have both got 5-second time penalties. And Julio gets a 3-second time penalty as we're talking about it. So that is now 8 seconds. As Victor moves ahead of Kyle up into P11. Ooh, that was close. As actually Ian's also making that overtake on Kyle as well. Side-by-side action here at turn 2. Ian will get ahead of the McLaren for the time being. Rudy's also closing up to Smalley and Vandenberg. Can we see Rudy going for this lead battle here? We will see Luca in that fight as well. Slash just coming around turn 6. He's also in that fight. It's technically a 5 to possibly 6-way fight for the race in terms of pace right now, because these guys are all separated by around 3 seconds. So Smalley's lost a little bit of time to Vandenberg. I think Vandenberg's gained some time on Smalley and Rudy and the rest of the field. So it's going pretty good for Vandenberg right now. He's closing the gap up to 15.2 seconds now. If he can consistently do that, he should be able to get, I mean, he should be able to get P2, definitely, if he keeps the position off of Smalley and the rest. Because Marquico has to pit at some stage. He has not pit yet in this race, so he's going to have to pit. And either way, if he pits at the end, Vandenberg will be up into second position. Oh, we see a yellow flag. Is that Luca? It is Luca. The Red Bull driver has got no front wing. He's off the track. A dangerous rejoin. Thank goodness there is ghosting enabled, though, as the Red Bull driver will get out of the way and will resume in P13. Not a good lap for Luca. He was battling for what was, I do believe, P6 at the time, but now is down P13 and is going to have to pit. It's a very, very difficult end to the race for Luca. Victor and Ian also having a good battle here. Ian's going to pull to the outside line in the Mercedes car, and he's going to try it. He's going to try and go for that move. Where's Victor? He has decided to back away from this battle, and Ian will keep the position. So up at the front, no change, really. Still staying the same. Marquico has stayed out for a little bit longer. I wonder what Marquico's plan is. It's got to be the softs. He's got to pit it. He's got to come into the pits at some points. So we'll see how this works out for Marquico in the Red Bull. He should come into the pit lane this lap, because if he stays out, I'm not sure what his strategy is here. As Luca has retired from the race, unfortunately, that was down to either a spin or contact, whatever happened at turn 2. And that means Luca's race is unfortunately very over. Now, I'm just going to ride on board with Marquico for the rest of this lap, because I want to see, is he coming into the pit lane? And viewers, what do you think? Is he coming into the pit lane? Let me know down in the comments. We'll see if the Red Bull will be able to get a good position in this race. Smalley and Vandenberg also swap positions. Where did that come from? So while we were focusing on the battle for P1, the battle for P3 has switched to Smalley now leading the Grand Prix as well. Marquico has stayed out. This is a very interesting strategy from Marquico. I'm not sure what his strategy is here. I wonder if he's just trying to stretch these hards out for as long as he can, and so he can try and push for the soft compound tires. But he should be safe to pit for the softs. As Vandenberg is looking for the overtake, down the inside goes the AlphaTauri, and he's going to make that overtake. Pretty good and clean overtake for the AlphaTauri. And the DRS has allowed him to get past the Alfa Romeo and get up into third position. Smalley still within 0.3 of a second, so he still has got that chance to get ahead of the AlphaTauri on this lap. He did lose a little bit of time, though. It seemed that Vandenberg took a different line into turn 4, and so Smalley lost a little bit of time. Not sure if Vandenberg got a warning. It seemed it was close to a corner cut. I don't think it was, though. I think he should be fine. I'm just wondering, though, because if he did get a warning, that could give him possibly a 3-second time penalty if he gets another one. But we'll see. As exiting parabolic will become, and Marquico is into the pit lane for what should be a soft compound tire for the Red Bull driver. And there is the soft tires of the Red Bull pit crew. Should be a pretty good stop. Let's find out. Yep, pretty good stop for the Red Bull. And here's the question, where will he come out? Ooh, I think he's going to come out in a train of cars here. He's going to come out right behind Catterson, maybe just right ahead? No, he's going to come out right behind Catterson. Oh, gets a little bit too much on the power. Is the Mercedes going to try and make that move as well? I don't think so. I think Marquico will just barely keep ahead of that Mercedes driver for the time being, but just barely. Look how close Ian is to the Red Bull. Marquico trying to warm up those tires, trying to get temperature in those softs because they are cold on this lap. Thankfully, Marquico did get ahead, but it is not really the best of news for him because he's got a train of cars to get past. That includes Catterson, Trappy Formula, Vince, and Slash. So all four will have to overtake if he's going to be battling for the podium in today's Grand Prix. So we're on lap 22 out of lap 27. Rick still leading away by around 13.3 seconds. Thankfully for Rick, these two in P2 and P3 are actually in a very close battle here, and there's a lot of overtaking going on, so they're losing a little bit of time to the McLaren ahead. So it's pretty good for Rick right now in the McLaren. As Luca has left the session, he already did retire from the session, so it makes sense why. Now, we're on lap 23 out of 27. Rick should stay ahead. Hopefully. I hope he doesn't get like a puncture or something like that. The hards should last to the end of the race. They usually go for around, I'd say, 19 to 20 laps. And then they start degrading just a tiny bit. But they're pretty good tires for around here in Italy. They should last to the end. And I think for Rick, he should be able to win this Grand Prix. But I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm not going to jinx something. I'm not going to say anything more because I've seen many different commentators curse, and I do not want to talk about commentators' curses. So Vin's 7/10 behind the AlphaTauri of Slash. Willie Haas get ahead of Slash. Now, Vince does have that 5-second time penalty, which is going to affect his result in the Grand Prix. So if he's going to be wanting to get a top 5 result in this race, he's going to need to get past Slash and then get that 5-second gap to the AlphaTauri driver, which would be a very difficult thing to do, actually. Oh, Kyle out of the race at turn 6. Is that going to be a very late safety car? Yes, it is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's another safety car, and that is the worst time for Rick. That is the actual worst time for Rick. Now, will he be able to either come into the pit lane, or will he, actually, I don't know. What's going to happen here? I think Rick, if he wants to keep this lead of the race, I would pit now and get that over with, because he's going to come out. He's going to come out ahead of Rudy, I think. Will he come out ahead of Vandenberg? I mean, a pit stop for around here is around 20 seconds. However, Vandenberg and everybody else has to obey the Delta as well. So, if I were Rick, I'd probably pit with the gap you got right now. It's around a 17-second gap to Vandenberg. So, I don't know. This is a very, very difficult thing to do. But I think if I were Rick, I'd risk it and pit. I think that's the only thing he can do. He's lost a lot of time too, actually. 15 seconds now to Vandenberg. And I've just noticed as well that Rick's teammate Kyle, I think that may have hurt Rick's race, and he's coming into the pit lane onto the softs, and I'm curious to know where he's gonna come out. Will Vandenberg and Smalley and the rest come into the pit lane as well? I don't know. And also another great thing is that Marquico is just pit for the softs. Vandenberg and Smalley stay out. That is interesting. Where's Rick? Rick is exiting the pit lane now. He'll get overtaken by the top 3. Everybody is staying out. That is very surprising. So Rick will exit in P5 in this race. But if there's something that's oh dear, Smalley off the track. Don't think he lost much time. But if there's one thing that Rick has been doing this race, that has been overtaking, and he's done many different things. He's done a great strategy, and of course the safety car really did affect that. But the biggest thing that Rick has done this race is his overtaking. It's been amazing. And now, Rick, for one last time, we ask you this: you have to overtake these cars. If you're gonna win this race, you got to do it in an epic style. You got to do this, and he's gonna have 3 laps to go. Will the safety car go in this lap? By the rules of this game, I do believe it should. It should go in with 3 laps to go. I think it's programmed to do that either way. So I think this should be the end of the safety car. Let's find out. Here comes the Sector 3 line. No safety car in. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so safety car is in this lap. As expected, since there is 3 laps, and because of the rules of this game, that's kind of how it works. So Here we go, viewers. 3 laps to go. This is gonna be one of the best ends to an F5 race this season. I cannot wait. Who is gonna win this race? Is it Vandenberg? Is it Smalley, Rudy, Slash, Rick, Trappy, Formula, Patterson? You know, anyone can win this race. Marquinhos there as well. Could anyone do this? Let's see. But there can only be one winner. Only be a winner of the Italian Grand Prix. But the question is, who is gonna win it? Vandenberg is going to exit. Does he go in the entrance to Parabolica or the exit? It's going to be the exit. Or maybe just a little bit later, weaving up those tires. It's going to be a little bit later. And he's using every ounce of space he's got. And he gets ahead and he leads us away for the final 3 laps of the race. It's a great start for the front runners. Is Rick going to try and make that move on Trappy Formula, who's already actually making that move on Rick? Rick is being overtaken by the 2 Williams cars now as they're 3 wide coming down to turn 1. Rick's actually going to send it to the inside. Oh, that was a little bit late from the McLaren driver. Rudy, oh, he's actually spun the car. And there's contact. There's contact. That's Slash and Rudy in the wall. Rudy spins the car and collects Slash as well. Rick is up to 3rd position. Ian is up to 4th as well. The Mercedes trying to defend it against the Williams. Marquinhos is also trying to make the move on Countersit as well. This is the perfect opportunity for Rick to win this race. But it is not a good race end for Rudy and Slash, who have made contact on lap 26. Catterson and Victor swap position as well, as the 2 championship leaders are going at it for P7 in this race. Rick is now 3 tenths behind the Alfa Romeo and the AlphaTauri, and also Ian in that fight as well. Is this gonna hurt Rick's race winning hopes? Let us find out. As here comes Rick. He's got to make this overtake on Smalley if he's going to go for the race lead. He has to. I think there's no other opportunity. He has to go for it down to turn 1 and then make a perfect... Oh, he's already going for it. He's already going for the exit Parabolica. The McLaren's going to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo just about. Ian's also looking for the overtake. Are we going to see a 3 wide moment? We enter the final lap. Who is going to get ahead? 3 wide down to turn 1. Here we go. Oh my goodness. The Mercedes gets ahead. What a move from Ian. And Smalley's gone wide, I do believe. Something happened there. Rick is down to P4. That is it for Rick. For his race-winning hopes. He will surely get P2 in this race, though, because the 2 ahead have penalties. Rick is making that move on Smalley as he goes around the outside, makes that overtake, and gets ahead. Marquinhos. Oh, a little bit of a cut there. As Victor's also looking for the overtake. Down the inside goes Victor on the Red Bull. Oh my goodness, great racing here between these 2, as Marquinhos will just barely keep ahead of the Aston Martin car. Also, the 2 Williams are battling it out with Vince for P7 right now. As we approach the end of this Grand Prix, it has been a very good race for Vandenberg. He has done everything he can. And let's see how this works out for Vandenberg. 1 corner to go. And he's gonna do it. The 67 car comes round Parabolica. And he's going to come to the line now. Pierre Gasly won in 2020 for AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri win here in PSGL. Vandenberg wins the Italian Grand Prix. Rick will take P2. The championship leader, Victor, gets up into P3 and maintains his championship lead. What a recovery for the Aston Martin, who gets into the podium positions. Ian will finish 4th on the back of the grid. And that is a great race from him as well. Vincent P5, Trappy, Formula, Catterson, Marquinhos, Smalley will move down to 9th, unfortunately. Rudy in P10. But this is the driver we're talking about today. It was so close. Rick may have had that chance to win the race today. If he stayed out, would he have? I'm not exactly sure. But this is the end result. Vandenberg wins this epic Italian Grand Prix. So here's the podium celebrations. The Italian AlphaTauri team win their home Grand Prix. Vandenberg on top of the podium here at Monza. Rick tried everything to overtake that AlphaTauri driver. It was so close, so close. And maybe if he had one more lap, he would have overtaken. The AlphaTauri. Very similar situation to actually 2020 with the AlphaTauri and the McLaren. But that's the end of the race. What an epic one here today in Italy for F5. Monza never disappoints as Vandenberg wins the Italian Grand Prix. So here's the results here at Monza. Vandenberg wins for AlphaTauri, followed by Rick and the championship leader Victor, who still leads the championship coming out of Monza. Ian will finish 4th for Mercedes with Vincent P5 for the Haas team. And then it is another good scoring positions for the Williams, as well as Trappy Formula makes it up to 6 and Catterson up to P7. Markiko will take P8 in this race. Unfortunately, our pole sitter, Smalley, will finish down in P9, Rudy in P10 and Slash in P11. Those three, it's kind of like a what could have been situation. Smalley had that penalty. Rudy and Slash had contact. I'm sure the stewards will be looking into that one. And then I do believe it was Mosey and Kev and Julio was the final driver to finish the race, I do believe. Unless there was anything else. I do believe that is it, actually. So that's the race. The Italian Grand Prix never disappoints. It was awesome. So thank you, everybody, for joining the viewing stream here. Really do appreciate everybody in the stream. And also, great race from everybody in the F5 division. Awesome racing between all you guys, and just awesome to see. So anyway, that's it from us here today at PSGL. We will be back for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix Round 7, and that will be streaming on, I do believe, next Monday, I do believe. So same exact time. Join us then for the F5 division's Imola race, and we'll see you all then. So I'm Formula Jonah, signing off from the Italian Grand Prix here at PSGL. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.